You are now listening to the Palm Pod, brought to you by RSPO, a global partnership for sustainable palm oil.
Hi, I'm Fara Rom, and you're tuning into the fifth episode of the Palm Pod, where we host engaging discussions, expert insights, and industry updates on sustainable palm oil, guiding consumers and businesses to make better choices for the planet. And it's 2025. I believe it's never too late to wish everyone a happy new year. And at the Palm Pod, we took a short break to recalibrate, refresh, and bring you even more engaging and dynamic conversations on sustainable palm oil. So looking back at the RSPO RT 2024 conference in Bangkok, Thailand, which is the Roundtable Conference for Sustainable Palm Oil that happened last year, one of the standout moments was the special fireside chat on Imagining the Next 20, moderated by Ho Jiada from the Regenerasi Youth Council, and the conversation featured RSPO Board of Governors co-chairs, Anne Rosenberger, and also Jose Roberto Montenegro. So the key takeaway from the conversation, there's an urgent need for meaningful engagement with the younger generation to strengthen their involvement in sustainability. And this is really something that I really deeply am passionate about. And that's exactly what we're exploring in today's episode with our special guest. I'm welcoming Izzuddin Tuah. Welcome, Izzuddin, to the Palm Pod.
Thank you. Thank you, Farah.
Okay, so let me give a bit of Izzuddin's background. Izzuddin Tuah is an advocate for sustainability and youth engagement in the palm oil industry. But I want to hear from yourself, Izzuddin. Can you share a bit about your background and your journey in the palm oil industry? What sparked your interests and how you've been involved in driving the change?
Well, thank you, Farah. And actually, I have been involved in the oil palm industry since 2011 when I pursued my undergraduate degree in plantation management and agrotechnology. Currently, I serve as a lecturer at ICATS College in Sarawak. I also the Youth Council Director of Environmental Affairs at Regenerasi and a co-partner of the Young Allies Ambassador Program under the Council of Palm Oil Producing Countries, CPOPC. My passion for palm oil began when I realized how deeply integrated it is in our everyday products, from skincare and household goods to biofuels and animal feed. What truly inspired me, however, was learning about palm oil's role in supporting smallholder. It empowers millions of families by providing a stable income, which in turn helps them support their families and invest in their children's education. In terms of driving change, I'm actively involved in promoting sustainable palm oil through education, advocacy, and digital media. As a lecturer, I incorporated sustainability into my curriculum to prepare the next generation of planters. Through Regenerasi, I work on environmental initiatives that bridge the gap between youth and the industry. Additionally, as a part of the Young Allies Ambassador Program, I create content about sustainable palm oil on platforms like Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I also collaborate with the Young Allies from various countries, which helps broaden the conversation and share best practices across borders. And then my goal is to foster a balanced perspective on palm oil, one that recognizes its economic importance while also emphasizing the need for responsible, sustainable practices. By empowering smallholders, engaging with young leaders, and leveraging digital platforms, I aim to contribute to a more sustainable future for the industry. Yeah.
That's really great that you actually mentioned about smallholders and some of the points that influences your passion towards palm oil, because it's really interesting that not many people especially young people know the broader conversation about palm oil. They don't really involved in the sustainable palm oil or palm oil in general, and they don't know who are the drivers of palm oil. And it's really great that you are highlighting smallholders because they are like a huge part of the industry. And with your unique experience, it's interesting that you also said you started 2011. Where how old were you at that time? Was it 2019?
17 years old.
17 years old, that's really young. That's really great because we can see, right? Like, even for myself, there's not much interest in young people in the agricultural sector in general, what more in palm oil. So, why do you think fewer young people are choosing agriculture as a career? Why is there not much interest for them to put agriculture as their first choice, even in the university sphere, like yourself, since you are a lecturer? So, why do you think that's a trend?
All right. One of the biggest reasons is the perception that agriculture is a 3D job, which is the dangerous and difficult. A study published in Fortunes in Public Health found that many young people see agriculture as the physically demanding, hazardous, and low in prestige, which makes them look for careers elsewhere. Instead of seeing agriculture as an industry full of innovation and opportunity, they often picture it as just hard labor with outdated methods. Another major factor is the lack of awareness about modern agricultural practices. Research from California Agriculture shows that many students don't realize how diverse careers in agriculture actually are. There's agribusiness, biotechnology, digital agriculture, and sustainability management. The industry today is using drones for crop monitoring, AI-driven solution for efficiency, and precision farming techniques to improve sustainability. But since these advancements are not widely promoted, many young people still see agriculture as a low-tech sector with limited career options. Of course, urbanization and changing career aspirations play a big role too. A report from Taiwan Insight suggests that as more young people move to cities, they become disconnected from agriculture. Many prefer white-collar jobs in air-conditioned office rather than working in the field, which makes agricultural careers seem less appealing. This shift has led to fewer young professionals entering the industry, even though there's a growing demand for skilled individuals in modern tech-driven agriculture. At the end of the day, outdated perception, lack of awareness about technology in agriculture, and urban migration have all contributed to this trend. But the truth is, agriculture is evolving fast with innovation, sustainability, and digital transformations at the forefront. There's a huge opportunity for young people to be part of this change, whether in agri-tech, sustainability, or research. The industry just need to do a better job at showcasing what's possible. Yeah.
That is a really important point that you make about agriculture, where it's actually not just about farming, but it's broader than that. Like, it's not just involve you going to the field and farm, but it also involves a lot of innovations. And I think it's really important because agricultural sector is a really important sector for all of us. And if we don't have younger people that is interested in agriculture, we might have an issue of food security in the future, or it might hinder some innovation that has happened along the decades, right? And that is only possible. We are here in the present, and we are only possible to feed a lot of people because of these innovations. So thank you for pointing that out. And I think this also touches the inspiration for young people. How do we convince them? How do we convince the next generation? And you, again, I'm mentioning you as a lecturer, and you see this in your students. So how do you exactly instill that importance and make them more passionate about pursuing the agriculture as their career, and while at the same time embracing sustainability, of course?
Well, I think the key is to start integrating agricultural sustainability into education as early as possible from elementary and high school. If we include topics like sustainable farming, climate smart agriculture, and food security in subjects like geography and science, students will naturally develop an interest in agriculture. They will start seeing it as more than just farming. It's about innovation, sustainability, and solving global challenges like climate change and food security. Beyond classroom learning, hands-on experience make huge differences. Imagine if a student could actually visit a sustainable farm an oil palm estate or an organic farm, getting to see modern agricultural practices up close. This experience can be eye-opening and might inspire young people to explore careers in the field. Another powerful tool is social media. Young people today are on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So we need to meet them where they are. That's why I believe creating engaging, informative content about agricultural sustainability on these platforms is crucial. We can also collaborate with the content creators, environmental influencer, and media agency to spread awareness and make agriculture more appealing. So if we make agricultural sustainability both educational and engaging from an early age, we can ensure that the next generation see it as a career of the future, one that innovative, impactful, and full of opportunities.
Do you think youth will be more engaged with the palm oil industry if they were more aware of the existence of sustainable palm oil?
Absolutely. I believe awareness is the key to engaging more young people in the oil palm industry. Right now, some youth may only hear negative narratives about palm oil, and they may not realize that sustainable palm oil exists and it's making a real impact. Young people today are deeply passionate about sustainability. They care about climate action, ethical consumption, and protecting the environment. If they knew how sustainable palm oil have reduced deforestation, support biodiversity conservation, and provides livelihood for smallholder, they will be more open to learning about the industry rather than rejecting it outright. Another important aspect is how palm oil connects to innovation and the future. Sustainable palm oil plays a role in renewable energy, biodegradable products, and even waste reduction through circular economy practices. When young people see that palm oil is evolving and contributing to global sustainability efforts, they might even see career and business opportunity. The way we communicate this is just as important. Social media and digital platforms are where young people get most of their information. So we need to share the real story of sustainable palm oil in ways that are engaging and relatable. If we use platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn to showcase success stories, real life impacts, and innovative solutions in the industry, we can shift perception and spark more interest. So yes, I truly believe if young people were more aware of sustainable palm oil and its role in global sustainability, they will engage more with the industry, whether through advocacy careers or even entrepreneurship. It's all about changing the narrative and making the industry more transparent and relatable.
Thank you so much for that insightful thought, because I think many people don't really look at young people as a key component. And like you mentioned and suggested, at how we are bombarded with a lot of information out there. And even for myself, I started to be aware of some of the issues in the palm oil industry because I visited a zoo in the US and they were saying that, palm oil is bad and all that. So I think this is also the situation that we're facing right now, because we rarely get a lot of information about sustainable palm oil, and it actually has existed from around, probably we can say, 2004, if we are to relate it back to the formation of Roundtable for Sustainable Palm Oil. But until today, there's still a lot of information and knowledge gaps, I think, in young people, and the way that the media works these days as well can influence the way that even people in grower countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, where we definitely acknowledge there are deforestation that happens, but also we have to acknowledge that we are, as an industry, we're trying to make the industry better. And I feel like young people should be aware of the sustainability that we're taking part of, and also pulling them and inviting them to be a part of the solution as well. So I think I have a question for you. You were a youth yourself before. So if you could envision the future of youth involvement in the palm oil sector 10 years from now, what would it look like? And what kind of support from industry players that is already in the palm oil sector, what would be essential from them to make that happen?
All right, I think in next 10 years, I see a palm oil sector that is technology driven, sustainability focused, and youth lead. I think young people will no longer see the industry as just a plantation work, but as a space for innovation, digital transformation, and problem solving. Imagine drones and AI power system optimizing plantations, precision agriculture reducing waste, and young professional leading a breakthrough in biodegradable products, biofuels, and sustainable supply chains. The next generation will be at the forefront of making the industry greener, smarter, and more transparent. But for the vision to become a reality, the industry needs to step up and invest in young talent. First, we need stronger engagement. Companies should actively collaborate with universities, youth organizations, and content creators to make the industry more relatable. Internship, scholarship, and hands-on sustainability project will get more young people interested. Second, investment in agri-tech and digitalization is also crucial. Young professionals are drawn to technology, automation, and AI. So industry players need to embrace this innovation to attract top talent. Third, entrepreneurships need more support. If young people see real business opportunity in palm oil, whether through palm-based startups, sustainable product development, or digital solutions, they will be more likely to enter the sector, providing grants, incubator programs, and funding access, and create a new generation of palm oil entrepreneurs. Another big piece of puzzle is storytelling and awareness. Right now, most young people only hear the negative side of palm oil. The industry needs to be more transparent and more engaging and more active on social media. If young voices, media platforms, and sustainability ambassadors share real success stories, it will shape perception and spark interest. And finally, sustainability may remain the core focus. The younger generation cares deeply about climate actions, ethical sourcing, and environmental conservation. If the industry prioritizes regenerative agriculture, biodiversity protections, and responsible sourcing, young people will see it as a space where they can truly make a difference. So looking ahead, I believe we'll see it a thriving palm oil industry led by young innovators, powered by technology, and driven sustainability. But it all starts with the right support, the right investment, and a commitment to reshaping the way young people see the industry.
I truly agree with your thoughts. And again, commitment is really important to shift negative perception, like you mentioned. And I think there are a couple of, or a lot of young people listening to this episode, and maybe they are passionate about sustainability, but at the same time, they might be unsure how to get involved. So, focusing on sustainable palm oil sector, if there are young people who are eager to be part of this journey or the good fight, what advice would you give them?
If you are passionate about sustainability but don't know where to start, I think the first step is to get involved no matter how small. Sustainability isn't just about big projects or policy changes. It starts with learning, taking actions, and connecting with like-minded people. One of the easiest ways to begin is by educating yourself. Follow sustainability-focused content on social media, read articles, watch documentaries, and listen to podcasts that discuss real-world environmental challenges and solutions. The more you learn, the more confident you will feel about taking action. Next, find a local or online community, whether it's a youth-led environmental organizations, a sustainability club at your school or university, or even a virtual group discussing green initiative. Being part of community keeps you motivated and gives you opportunities to contribute. If you're looking to be more hands-on, volunteering is a great way to gain experience. Look for opportunities with environmental NGOs, conservation projects, or even sustainable farming initiatives. You'll be surprised how many organizations are looking for young, passionate people to help drive their mission. And if you are interested in the business or corporate side of sustainability, explore green entrepreneurships. Think about how you can bring sustainability into your own work, whether it's creating eco-friendly products, promoting ethical sourcing, or even using social media to raise awareness about sustainability topics. And finally, use your voice. Social media is an incredible, powerful tool. If you care about sustainability, start sharing content, engaging in conversation, spreading awareness. You don't need to be an expert. Just start by sharing your journey and what you are learning. The key takeaway is there's no one right way to get involved in sustainability, whether through education, community engagement, volunteering, entrepreneurship, or advocacy. Just take the first step. And sustainability is a movement that thrives on action, collaboration, and patience. And young people have the power to make a real impact.
Yes, I agree with that. Young people have the power to make an impact, and sustainability starts with yourself. And you, as young people, like Izzuddin mentioned, there's plenty of ways to get involved. You can engage, and like Izzuddin mentioned as well, the key message is to learn, to start learning about sustainability in any ways possible. Thank you so much, Izzuddin, for today and for joining me today to discuss the vital role of the next generation in the journey towards sustainable palm oil. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Farah.
I was speaking to our guest, Izzuddin Tuah, Youth Sustainable Palm Oil Advocate. I am Fara Rom, and this is the Palm Pod.